This isn't actually, this is the death, burial, resurrection packet. Mine's a little thinner. All right. Okay. Well, as you all know, 2020 has been a bit of a rough year. I got a new job in 2020. Praise Yahweh. Yeah. And 3 weeks in, I had to learn to work from home, and I was totally unprepared for that. But that's not bad. I also got a concussion. Yeah, I fell down the steps, bumped my head. Wasn't anything bad, but now I get headaches. I can't play video games all day. I'll be looking at the screen, and the lights, it's just too bright for me. And you can say that now I have 20/20 vision. I didn't think anyone was going to laugh at that. All right. Well, and with that being said, I'm going to talk about vision. All right. How's your vision? And now, vision, it can be defined as the faculty or state of being able to see, the ability to think about or plan the future with imagination or wisdom, or as a verb, imagine. And today we'll be going over the second definition, which is thinking or planning the future with imagination and wisdom. That's right. I changed the definition. There's no reason you can't fly around the world in a banana-shaped hot air balloon and decide to avoid hurricanes and typhoons. Okay, it's a little extreme, but moving on. Proverbs 29:18 says, "Where there is no vision, the people perish, but he that keepeth the law, happy is he." Now, applying it to yourself, it's truly about, enlightenment or illumination, rather. If you don't have a light on the path you're walking on, then you're going to stumble, you're going to trip, you're going to fall, or if it's a narrow path, as straight and narrow is the way, you might just, not fit in on it. But in this, I'm going to be focusing on vision. And in this part, without vision, you'll fail to accomplish what it is you're attempting to do. And whether it's a personal vision of being a doctor or a spiritual one of taking care of the poor, if you don't have a clear idea of where you're going and what you need to do to get there, you'll likely fail to achieve your goal. Now, I also want to introduce something that's kind of used synonymously with vision, but it's not quite the same thing, and that's mission. Now, mission is an important assignment carried out for political, religious, or commercial purposes, typically involving travel, or the vocation or calling of a religious organization, especially a Christian one, to go out into the world and spread its faith. Now, I just want to somewhat show a quick example of mission and vision, and I'm just going to do a quick recap. Now, we're going to be using King Joram, King Jehoash, but it starts with King Joram, who was king of Judah, and he married Athaliah, who was actually a daughter of King Ahab and Jezebel. We know that's one of the worst kings in Israel's history, the northern kingdom. And eventually, King Joram is killed in a skirmish, and his wife, Athaliah, she kills all of his children, except for Jehoash, who is hidden by Jehoiada, the high priest, and also, I believe, his nurse. And we're going to be picking up from after he becomes king of Judah at age 7, which I don't know how soon he began actually utilizing his authority, but he decides to begin repairing the church or the temple because Athaliah, she had decided to put Baal idols in the temple and to have people worship Baal in the temple. But of course, that's not a place for Baal. That's a place for Yahweh. And starting with 2 Kings 12:4. And Jehoash said to the priests, all the money of the dedicated things that is brought into the house of Yahweh, even the money of everyone that passeth the account, the money that every man is set at, and all the money that cometh into any man's heart to bring into the house of Yahweh, let the priests take it to them, every man of his acquaintance, and let them repair the breaches of the house, wheresoever any breach shall be found. But it was so that in the 23rd year of King Jehoash, the priests had not repaired the breaches of the house. Then King Jehoash called for Jehoiada the priest and the other priests, and said unto them, Why repair ye not the breaches of the house? Now therefore receive no more money of your acquaintance, but deliver it for the breaches of the house. And the priests consented to receive no more money for the people, neither to repair the breaches of the house. Now, this is where we have mission, but we don't have vision. Now, like, the mission, of course, is to get the house fixed. We want to have the temple repaired, but they didn't do anything. He went to them and said, okay, for anyone who wants to give, accept it, and then use that money to help repair the temple. That's like Pastor Mike is saying, Sister Beth, you're the treasurer. We're going to start repairing a roof. Cut me a check for $1,000. Okay. And she gives him the check. That's all that happens. No moving forward. It's impossible to get anything done unless you have steps that follow a plan to get things done. And with that being said, we're going to pick up or continue forward. And now, but Jehoiada, the high priest, he took a chest and bored a hole in the lid of it and set it beside the altar, on the right side as one cometh into the house of Yahweh. And the priest that kept the door put therein all the money that was brought into the house of Yahweh. And it was so, when they saw that there was much money in the chest, that the king's scribe and the high priest came up, and they put up in bags and told the money that was found in the house of Yahweh. And they gave the money, being told, into the hands of them that did the work, that had oversight over the house of Yahweh, and they laid it out to the carpenters and builders that wrought upon the house of Yahweh, and to the masons and hewers of stone, and to buy timber and hewed stone to repair the breaches of the house of Yahweh, and for all that was laid out for the house to repair it. See, in this instance, we see that the high priest Jehoiada, he said, okay, now receiving the money is good. That's something that we need. We have to pay the people to work for it. But of course, we need to have skilled hands to be able to repair the house. So he set out a plan. We're going to have this chest here. As people, it's in their heart to give money. They'll put the money in the chest. And once we have enough, we'll go ahead and find carpenters, find masons. We're going to find people who are skilled in repairing homes, or in this case, the temple. And that's where you have to have your vision following the mission. Because we know the mission is to repair the temple, but of course, if you don't have the vision, the steps lined up to it, you will not complete the mission. That's impossible. And, I kind of meant to read this, I'm sorry. Mission and vision are interwoven together. Mission is the end goal, while vision could be considered the specifics of how to attain that goal. And Yahshua, for example, had one goal: reconciling the world to the Father. Now he had to endure a great many things when in all actuality, he could have just Thanos snapped and everything started over again. I'm sure it wouldn't have been hard, especially since Satan would have likely been in the lake of fire already. But no, Yeshua's in the restoration business, so he rolled up his sleeves and set to work. And to ensure that we were able to be reconciled to the Father, he lived a holy life. And that's not all he did. Even being baptized when, we should be baptized by him, but he's trying to fulfill all righteousness. He raised up disciples to help teach and perpetuate a true way of living a holy life unto Yahweh. He died a gruesome death, which according to Sister Beth's message, this was his induction as the high priest. And he rose again, being the first fruits of many, so that we too may be resurrected and restored unto Yahweh. And now it kind of comes to the question, what's our mission? Now, initially, our mission is to escape hellfire, and fear is the motivator. It's how most people come to Yeshua, sad to say. And at least for a time, this is how it is. But as we learn more and more about Yeshua and come to truly appreciate what he's done for us, our mission becomes one of love for our Maker. We want to bring glory to Yeshua in all that we do. We want to be a light to a dying world. We want to live a holy life according to Yahweh's standards. Now, these are the visions, but truly, our mission is being faithful, obedient children. That's our mission. Because we all want to be called the sons of Elohim. And if you're a son of Elohim, you obey Elohim. You love the things of Elohim. You want to just perpetuate everything he has, because truly it's just love embodied. And he wants that for everyone. He would have that no one be lost, no one to perish. And it's our goal, our mission, to make sure that as obedient children, we have all our brothers and sisters return to him. And Yahshua never said it would be easy. He did say that, and ye shall be hated of all men for my name's sake, but he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved. And he said, no man having put his hand to the plow and looking back is fit for the kingdom. Now, what does this tell us? It tells us that, yes, we'll face many adversities. We'll be put through the ringer, and we'll also experience disappointments as well, and defeat that will rock us to our very core. But Yahshua says, don't give up. Keep doing what's right. It's worth it. And in the end, you too will be found worthy of this high calling. My brethren, count it all joy when you fall into diverse temptations, knowing this, that the trying of your faith worketh patience, but let patience have her perfect work, that ye may be perfect and entire, wanting nothing. Thou therefore endure hardness as a good soldier of Yahshua Messiah. And let us not be weary in well-doing, for in due season we shall reap if we faint not. For I reckon that the sufferings of this present time are not worthy to be compared with the glory that shall be revealed in us. Don't quit. Yahshua, he's going right beside us every step of the way. Don't quit. Don't quit. Just don't give up. Just keep on going. I think it might have been a decade ago, we had gone down to Pigeon Forge, and we went up the mountaintop, or we were going up the mountaintop, and me, I'm not very athletic despite my physique, yeah. But I'm walking up the hill, I'm good for the short term, not the long. I'm like struggling. And this older man is coming down the hill, he's just walking, and he puts his hand on my shoulder. It's worth it. It's worth it. I mean, unfortunately, in our, finite mind and our selfishness, because when we're young, or just us, period, we're always thinking about ourselves. But we have Hebrews 12 says, we have so great a cloud of witnesses. They let us know it's okay, you might slip, you might stumble, but keep going. Just keep pressing in. Don't give up. It's worth it. And the one thing that really keeps us going, the Holy Spirit. It's that connection to Yahweh that fuels you. It reminds us that in the midst of our pain, in the midst of our grief, we can still have joy. We're filled with power to be able to overcome our obstacles, to overcome ourselves. And speaking of, Acts 1:8, but you shall receive power when the Holy Spirit has come upon you. You shall be witnesses to me in Jerusalem and in all Judea and Samaria and to the end of the earth. You see, the vast majority of the disciples weren't men of great confidence. They were average Joes for the most part. Learned in the books of Moses, but nothing beyond that. How could they move and act with purpose? They're just fishermen. They had one thing. It was passion, zeal. Romans 12:11 says, not slothful in business, fervent in spirit, serving the Lord. And utilizing the ESV here, it says, do not be slothful in zeal, be fervent in spirit, serve the Lord. Being on fire is usually where it starts, and typically it's whenever we're in our Christian infancy, because, we you get saved and you're like, yes, because it's a great and amazing thing, this amazing grace, this wonderful salvation. But, typically we let it get quenched. You'll try to tell everyone and anyone who will listen, and you'll tell your family, but they won't hear it. They're happy for you, but they say, keep your Christianity to yourself. You try to tell your circle of friends, but they'll laugh and joke. They'll say, what are you now, a Bible thumper? You some kind of Jesus freak? And what was it that Yahshua said? Verily I say unto you, no prophet is accepted in his own country. And it's okay. We'll experience it at one point or another. It's demoralizing, even frustrating, but little by little, the flames of passion begin to get snuffed out because we're soft. Well, that's what some might say. But I think it's more because we're motivated and not dedicated. See, whenever you begin to change from being motivated to do something and this dedication builds, it stands firm in you. It's just like whenever husband and wife, you see the picture, you see it's raining on them, and their backs are against each other, like, I don't want to talk to you. But you notice the husband has the umbrella over his wife. He's dedicated. He wants to, make sure that she's still protected because he made an oath, a covenant with her. He chose, whatever else. I may be upset. I may want to throw a tantrum. I may want to yell at her, but regardless, I'm dedicated to making sure this marriage stands before Yahweh perfect. And I want to take a look at someone who's dedicated. And that'll be our man David in Acts 13:22. And when he had removed him, he raised up unto them David to be their king, to whom also he gave testimony and said, I have found David the son of Jesse, a man after my own heart, which shall fulfill all my will. Now, David is, at least to my knowledge, the only person to be called a man after Yahweh's own heart. You see, David, throughout his tumultuous life, showed a dedication and fervor that can only be rivaled by a few, and even then, it's a close time. When David fought Goliath, he was so dedicated to Yahweh that he would rather be cast into a sea with a millstone around his neck than to let anyone blaspheme the name of Yahweh. He was so dedicated that he wouldn't even kill Saul, even when Yahweh practically stood David over his sleeping body, because Saul was one of Yahweh's anointed. And that's twice when he could have killed him. That is dedication. And I also have a few examples in the church. Leonardo, well, we play video games, and we play this fighting game, and we're pretty good, except Noah's better. But anyway, we play this fighting game, and, we'll go hours, we can go 4 or 5 hours, and it'll be, I think about 8:30 or 8 o'clock, and it'll say, hold on, I gotta put my kid to bed. It's like, okay, but he's not just putting Nico to bed, he's actually doing prayers with him. And, anyone could think, Nico's 7, 8, maybe 9. I mean, does he really know what he's praying? Does it matter? I mean, I'm sitting there just ready, anxious, yeah, we're going to get this. But, really, Leonardo he's stepping back, and Leonardo, he gets in the game, he's in it. But he takes a step back, and he says, I got to do this, And he's not motivated by anything, although Yahweh does say, when you lie down, talk to your son or your child about me, when you rise up, when you're eating, when you're walking, he says this. But it's not a motivation, it's a dedication. It's a dedication to Yahweh. It's a dedication to his son. He wants to make sure that he'll stay along the path that's right, If you raise them up, they won't depart from the path. And also, I've never seen anyone who's in the church who doesn't, he's in the church nearly daily, but he doesn't live here, I expect the house next door to be his house, basically. He's here, whether he's changing light bulbs, he's cleaning up, he's fixing the ceiling. I don't know, that's probably the most dedicated person in the church. I mean, he's maintaining the temple, And even Pastor Micah, I remember years ago, he was like, "You think I want to be pastor?" I mean, honestly, I know circumstance kind of forces you into that role, because even Paul said, I think he said, be an evangelist to, was it Timothy? Yeah, and do the work of the evangelist. And Pastor Micah said, I didn't want to be a pastor. But I mean, honestly, I can't see him being anything else. I mean, man has patience and tolerance. Like, I don't even know. I mean, the times that we've talked, it'll be 1 a.m. and we'll be talking on the phone, He'll be driving to work 11 p.m., and it's like, so Mark, how's it going, And we're really dialoguing, and he's really investing in me, making sure that my life is aligned with Yahweh's goals. That's dedication. And also, another thing that's pretty helpful, and they're crucial for not only keeping the fire going, but for not giving up, is each other. And Hebrews 10:23 says, "Let us hold fast the profession of our faith without wavering, for he is faithful that promised. And let us consider one another to provoke unto love and to good works." Now, Pastor Jeremy, this one is focused on you. Now, I'm sure you guys probably do remember, because I love this series, Who is Yahshua in the books of the Old Testament. Now, there's one that's my particular favorite, and that's Who is Yahshua in the book of, the Song of Solomon and Isaiah, I believe it was. And now, I always remember how he said, because of course, Yeshua is the bridegroom, and he loves us fervently. And, he asks, have you ever wrote Yeshua a poem, a love song? And it's like, I can name several poems I've written on the spot, like within 5 minutes, write me a poem. Bam, and it's like, it's there, but like, my songs for Yeshua there's a limited number, and even during sermons, I'll hear a line like, "It's the drift," and it's like, it's the drift, and I start writing it down or on my phone swiping, and it's like, okay, but that's all it stays at. It stays as a chorus. There's no verse, there's no resolve, there's no bridge, nothing, there's no music, and even, there's something in the seeking. There's something in the seeking. Definitely the line of a chorus. But there's no verse, there's nothing to it. And it's like, I always get mad when I think about that. I mean, he provokes me to jealousy because I too want to be able to say, Yeshua, I love you. I want to be able to give full examples, completed works. I want to be like Pastor Jeremy, like each week there's a zealousness, a fire that's being shown forth. And it's like, me, I'm just, ding, 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 And there's a few times where, the solo is on point. But then there's times where it's like, is Mark even playing, I just want to, be like you, Pastor Jeremy. Yeah. And, also, there was one time, this example is a little different, but this might have been a decade or so ago, but Pastor Beth, she was giving a testimony, and this is actually downstairs when we're using downstairs primarily, and I'm just sitting down, looking down on guitar because that's what I do, and she's talking about her bills and how she would spread them out before Yahweh and say, which one are we paying? And during this time, it was I was in school. I was in a bad way, pretty much. I was flat broke. I was donating plasma to have money just to get to the school. And, Yahweh has said to me, I want you to go to Tabernacles. And I'm thinking like, Yahweh, I've been a poor steward of myself. I've been practically a couch bum for 2 to 3 years. I need this. I can get a great job, making 40,000 plus a year. I need this. And me and Beth, we locked eyes. We locked eyes. She said, he is faithful. Yahweh is faithful. He promised to take care of us. He promised to see us through to the end. No matter what you do, don't quit. I promise you, he will see you through to the end. And now there's one last thing I want to hit you with before leaving you, and that's with passion, mission, and vision. These can all be applied to different avenues of life, even having others to inspire us to do better. It isn't just locked to our spiritual walk. But with that being said, have you asked yourself, how does Yahweh view your visions? Oh, I'm sorry for the late picture. That was whenever, one person gets pumped, that's Jamie, yeah, making that shot. And then we're all like, yeah! I apologize for that. I kind of skipped that one mentally. Not bad. Let's see here. Oh, it looks like I jumped a little too far with the slides. But, since everything, mission, passion, mission, and vision, this can be applied to all avenues of our life. But how does Yahweh view our visions? A few weeks back, Kayla said she wanted to make sure that whether she goes for her master's or not, she's doing what Yahweh would have for her to do. And last week, Pastor Jeremy brought out, even considering what Yahweh thinks about the clothes we wear is important. And now, kind of a quick test, which, whoops a daisy, I left it up there. So, if anyone happens to remember, who is Yahshua in the book of Job? He is the sovereign Lord. When we have a clear perspective of Yahweh and who he is in our lives, we can truly appreciate the mission and take proper steps to fulfill the vision that come along with it. We'll be in Yahweh's arms, because that's truly the goal. We all want to be with Yahshua. We want to be with Yahweh. And we have to take the proper steps, divisions. We want to make sure that we're a light to the world. We want to be salt of the earth. And not to be trampled on, but to enrich people, to make their mouth... you ever have salty chips and you need water? Living the life of water, the river of life, that wellspring that flows from you. You want to be able to have people come to that well that never runs dry. And with that, just want to say thank you and Yahweh bless. Thank you.